Welcome back to It's a Tool Thing with a small tool haul and update video on the universal flex head extension sockets. So I had that push button extra long with the comfort grip handle. There was a guy in the shop that actually wanted that ratchet in particular. He prefers the push button. I'd been using it for a couple weeks now as my daily. Things I noticed were the button itself doesn't fully release if you're using an impact socket, which I tend to use impact sockets, not chromes, unless you have it lined up to the hole. Not the end of the world, but if you don't have it lined up to the hole, it also is easier to pull off. And I can see where you could drop a socket somewhere you really don't want to. Also, that one had the comfort grip, which I still prefer the chrome over the comfort grip. But in particular, where I mounted this on my carry tote, I had to actually shim that out to be able to get that comfort grip to clear and hold on with a magnet. And the overall length was, about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches longer. And where I actually mount this, it would fit, but it was a tight fit. Fortunately, I found this snap-on. It's a FLLF80 USA stamped ratchet the other day. Managed to work out a deal for $80, which I thought was a pretty good price for this unit. So I went ahead and bought it, and then sold that push button unit out. He's happy to have it, so it all worked out in the end. I did like the opportunity to try it. I think the push buttons would be the way to go if you used chrome a lot, or if your hands are always really slick, which sometimes I have problems getting the sockets off and I have to grab a little screwdriver to pull the socket off the drive. But for the most part, I usually don't have too much of an issue with that. So that was the only tool purchase I've really had. I did get a carry tote, which I don't have here, unfortunately. It was just a Husky carry tote, just a little plastic one. I think they had $3.50 on it. It's in good shape functionally, but it's got some overspray on it and whatnot. But I always in for another carry tote. I actually got that for free. The guy told me I'd just take it. I buy stuff from him all the time, so he didn't even want to ring it up for whatever it would have charged me, $2-3. And we got an update video. So I've been using as much as possible. These are the ones I've used the most. They happen to all be metrics. I've been using the extension Wobbly sockets, and the first thing I've noticed right off is on these Mac ones in particular. I haven't noticed it on the other ones. They have the spring is completely given out already, so it's a little wobbly, which it's supposed to be, but they should hold a little better. I was surprised. Impact Wobblies, the springs tend to hold up better. So I've been using this 10mm quite a bit. The 16mm, been using that for probably 5/8 to be honest, the housing bolts. And then the 15mm, which is a really common socket size for what I work on. I don't know if I'd recommend buying the whole set. I mean, if you got the money or want them, absolutely no reason not to. But they don't fit in everywhere. I would probably limit it to just the sizes in particular that you know you're going to use on a really common basis, unless you end up running across a good deal on a whole set. So as far as I mean, they're all loosey-goosey up here already. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Looks like you can. Not a big functional issue. They work fine. They do sag a little bit, so it's a little harder to get on. I was a little surprised. I haven't noticed that with the Steelman Pros yet, but I'll have to say I don't use them as much because these are the most common sizes. We do have a lot of standard fasteners in what I do, but these are the ones that I noticed were loose. The other ones still look like they're pretty clean, though I have used them as needed. As far as using this 10mm 12-point on a PTO in comparison to the snap-on one that failed, I gotta say it fits in there Not as good, but pretty darn close. I just installed another PTO today. 7 of the 8 bolts I was able to get to with this. The 8th bolt I was able to get to with the quarter drive chrome to run that down and then tighten it from there, which obviously would be the preferred thing, I guess. I should look into getting maybe a quarter drive impact wobbly in a 12.10 millimeter, but I have a feeling the volume right there being so close might be a problem. But it does seem to work pretty good. I knew it wasn't going to be 100% of the time. To be honest, the snap-on one, the older snap-on with the 1/4 inch shank, was not a 100%er either. Even this one, in some rare PTO instances, will not fit. Other places I found that this works pretty good for is Cummins starters. In fact, I used it also today on this transmission replacement I'm doing. Seems to work pretty good. I have used a couple of them actually for starters. The length of them for the Cummins in particular that I just did, I think it's a 6.7. It fit in there for that particular starter. It was actually long enough, but sometimes you have to add an extension to the back. But it does seem to work pretty good. So that is a update on the extension wobbly sockets and a quick tool haul. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.